You dropped out of law school, correct?
I did.
And then you were you're a photographer, wedding photographer?
A wedding photographer.
How do you go from like law school to being a creative little butterfly with camera?
I was so in love and my eyes were open that photography could be a passport, that your camera can take you from the hood into Hollywood. These other people who are legit in the industry will say you're not even good. To which I reply, that hurts, but I can get better.
Yeah.
And so then we saw this big shift. We saw like this big growth. And then I got to a point in my career where things began to change. It's one of the heaviest things I do in the business. It is wildly heavy. And I think that content burnout is so normal. And if I paused or stopped every time I was burnt out, I would be stopping at minimum every 4 days.
What do you do when things dramatically shift?
I think mostly
Jasmine Star, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I feel so honored to have
Same.
such an iconic woman on the couch.
It takes an icon to know an icon.
You know?
It does.
Girl.
Thank you.
I was with a bunch of awesome women the other night and I was telling them, Jasmine Star is coming on the show. And they're all like, wait, what? The girl with the long, gorgeous brown hair? The girl that's really good at marketing? The girl, and I was like showing them your Instagram. Yeah. Oh, I follow her. Oh, I follow her too. I follow,
Wow.
So just so you know.
Wow.
You are very well known. You've done great work and
you.
you have a beautiful reputation.
Thank you.
Which is exactly why I wanted to have you on Called and Crowned.
Well, thank you. I will be honest, so I want to recoil from like when people say nice things. I'm like, no, we're just doing the dang thing. Like, let's go. But what I'm trying to learn at this stage in my life is what do I want to model for my daughter? And then what do I want to model for other women coming up in the ranks? And that is to sit and when somebody reflects back, like literally decades of hard work is just to say thank you. So with all humility, I say thank you because there was a version of me to be like, okay, let's stop talking about it. Like next, like move on. But what I will say on behalf of other people would be thank you. I receive it.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
And something you stand for and recently have spoken about. I heard you on the department talk about this.
Okay.
I've had some reels come through. You're all about the woman and being unapologetic and the woman making money, right? Have you always been like that?
No.
Or what has made you lean into that message?
It's okay. So the real.
Yeah.
I don't know how, it's like people will get 0 or 100.
Yeah.
And so right now between you and I, it's just 100. And no, I have not always been that person. And then something happened in my life and my business where I had created an offer and we don't have to talk about that offer because I don't want to come in. Like the first thing we're talking about is like my offer. So we're just going to leave this nebulous. I had created an offer. And in order for me to have proof of concept, to know it's going to fit, to know how to serve, to know how to sell, in order to build the culture of this department and like who we're about, what we stand for, and how we sell, I had to do it. So I told myself I'm going to be hosting at minimum the first 100 one-to-one sales calls. And have I ever done that before? No, never. Do I have any training? No. The way I have always sold has been one-to-many. And so this one-to-one staring at, and by and large, I will sell to anybody, but who is in my demographic is largely women, but I never was saying this is for women. So then all of a sudden we start putting this offer out and people are interested. And so they book a call and they're surprised when it's me. And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to build this thing from the ground up. And so I'm having these calls and I will say that after call 37, I kind of fell into a little bit of a funk. And I didn't know that I was taking on the energy of the sales calls that I was having and feeling the deep, deep weight of women not being able to make their own decision. I didn't even know we're going to start here. Because after the department, after I did the interview on the department, we were in Las Vegas when I did it. I went back, I had dinner with my husband, and I said, I think I spoke about something I've never spoken out before. And I feel like, you have like a vulnerability hangover. I'm in Vegas, I'm not drinking, and I'm like, I'm hungover, dude. This is a lot. This is a lot. So I think that what was happening at the time, unbeknownst to me, and I only know about it now in retrospect, is that it was so disheartening to see so many talented, brilliant, smart, capable, like I would bet on you, say no for a litany of reasons, but most of the two came back down to my husband and I are partners. Like we love each other. I don't make money decisions. And then number two is my husband has to give the permission. And we explicitly use those words. Like, is this, so when people say, I need to talk with my husband, well, number one, I need to talk to my husband too.
Yeah.
But what we need to get clarity on, is this for permission or is this for support? And many women were just saying, it's permission. And girl, like, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that there's these unicorns running out in the wild and they don't know they could fly. And so I just started talking my truth, because I have forsaken what it is like to having been raised by an immigrant father who looked at us and said, this country will give you anything as long as you go out and get it. And then I happen to be married to a husband who is just a fan of women. Oh, he has a strong mama. He has 4 sisters. I
love it.
So he's about women.
Yeah.
I did not fully understand the gift that is. And so when I start having these conversations, the way I talk with my husband, the way I talk with my father, I realized is unique. And so if I start breaking down how you have a conversation with your partner, I want to be okay with that and invite women to look at their relationships from a different place. Not of, hey, can I ask you for this? It's like, hey, here is something I think will be really great. And here is how I can contribute to the family.
Yeah.
And here is how we can pay off our house or get out of debt or put the kids in a different school or go on that vacation we've been waiting for 4 years. This is how we can do it. Can we work on this together? And to me, I started talking about that simply because, like, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it. And a lot of times, because JD, right, is so awesome, your husband, mine as well, he's a champion for women. Yes, we'll discuss things together, but he's never been somebody that's like, not sure. He's like, if you feel called and you're going to actually run, let's go, babe. Like, well, of course, you know, he doesn't always check with me spending money, you know, like that's the thing. It's got to go, you know, back and forth here. And, you know, when you live in that, that's what we live in. But when we start working with clients, we kind of get the same thing. And we realize not all people are in relationships where their spouse is like, go, baby, go.
And to be clear, it's tethered, right? Like, it's not like every time I talk to JD, he's always like, go, baby, go. He definitely pushes back. He challenges, he questions. And I live for that, because he is not telling me the decision to make. He's inviting me to look at the decision from a multitude of perspectives, and he makes me stronger. Even if I don't want to hear it. I mean, I don't like hearing it, because I come in, I was like, oh, we can do this, this, and this. And he's like, yes, but what about this? Have you considered that? What are the long-term effects? How are you showing up? What's the cost you're gonna pay? What do you say, by saying yes to this, what do you say no to? And when somebody asks you all the things, like, nah, don't bring me down to earth. Like, I'm flying high right now. When we actually meet in the middle, like, he's like, now you can make a decision, but you have looked at it 360.
It's so good. That's a beautiful partnership for sure. You dropped out of law school, correct? I did. And then you were you're a photographer, wedding photographer?
A wedding photographer, I know, I feel like, does it sound like I've lived like 1,000 lifetimes?
Yeah, and you live this beautiful life in one of the beautiful places in all of America.
We live in the same city, baby.
We live in the same city. Your daughter, Luna's 6.
Yes.
Okay, you are living life by design rather than by default. How the heck did you do this? You have an 8-figure company, one of them. You're iconic, been on every stage imaginable, especially in the marketing realm, personal brand realm, all of it. How did you do that? Like, take us back for someone that doesn't know your full story.
You know, the real, just yesterday, my husband was in my office, and there was like a series of things that had happened. And I said, what is the updated operating system of you? How annoying to be married to me. Like, how annoying. But here's the thing. I just literally admit this. Everyone around me, I'm just asking questions, is like, if you are not living in life intentionally, why is this a life worth living?
Truth.
Like, in reaction to. And to be clear, we have these conversations about our operating systems like every year. We have a family operating system. Now, this is not some manual that we're going through, we're thumbing through. It's just like, what do you want? Where are you at? How do I support you? And are we in alignment? So for example, when we talk about living life with intention, I know that there is a calling on my life, and I know that I have a big dream to help a lot of other people. But that dream is not going to come at the cost of the very thing that is most important to me. And that is God, and that is my husband and my daughter, that is my business, and that is my friends. Now, people hear that and they're like, wait, I don't know if I agree with that hierarchy. No problem. It's my hierarchy. We all get to choose it. But what I will say is I'm not going to make a decision that is out of alignment of the family operating system that I've had. And so when I do get invited to speak on stages, and when I do get opportunities that are in business, the conversation that we had with our family operating system at the beginning of the year is, I don't want to travel without you. I am not myself without you. And so we have agreed, and we have enrolled our daughter in a program where they don't call it like homeschool, they call it world school. So it's like a hybrid co-op. I mean, hippie granola. Girl, hippie granola.
No, I love
I would
this.
never have thought that we would be like, I wanted her to go to school uniform. I want them to speak Spanish and French. I wanted her to wear a beret. You know, I totally wanted all that. She's gonna make me a spritz. But I realized that was not her. Oh, your child will tell you who they are. They will tell you. And so she told us that she's just a free little fairy, and she just needs to do things in her own way. So if I know that about her, and if I know that's about me, and if I know that my husband wants what is best for the two of us, we have a conversation, and where do we meet? And so for this year, we are traveling exclusively together. I can't speak for next year. But always going back to the start of the question was intentionality. You're living a life of intention. Like, where did it start? Well, it started when I saw something I wanted and I didn't know how to get it or achieve it. And now, much later in life, I didn't know how to be it. So when I was looking at things, it was from a state and a place of not having. So I'm brown, first generation Latina, coming into this country, and I grew up really, really, really overweight, like obese. And so I think as a result of this, and I was homeschooled, and I didn't learn how to read until I was like 11 and a half. So I was kind of like always perpetually a little bit on the outside. And I never walked the world like woe is me, but I was on the outside. And so I became a watcher of the world. And when you grow up very poor, a lot of people, especially in the church, were good to us. Like, they were giving us their old clothes. They were giving us Christmas gifts. They would donate food, like, on our porch. So when you grow up watching things, and then when you grow up getting things, you're almost like in a place of, well, what comes to me comes to me. But I don't ever know what it's like to have that or be that or go there. And then all of a sudden, when I was in college, and I realized literally the disparity between where I grew up and thinking like the biggest I can ever get, which was to me like so high. I was like, well, I'm gonna wear high heels and walk into an office building, and that's where I'm gonna be. Like, that was as big as I could dream. I didn't even have it in me to think that I could start a business. Didn't think that I could partner. Didn't even think that I could get money from other people based on an idea. Right? Like, and that world just didn't exist to me. So then I go to college, and then I realized, wow, my world is open up, but I still don't understand how people get those things. So then I graduated college. I went to law school. I was at UCLA on a full ride scholarship. And I was there. My mom had a relapse of brain cancer. And then, like, everything I thought I wanted in life, which was the go, 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 the zip codes, the cars, like none of that matters. I was 25 years old, and my mom was 50, and she had a relapse. And I just thought to myself, I don't want to die a lawyer. What am I doing?
Oh, wow.
And I think that was just a catalyst in my life. And I think that it was the first time in my life that God forced me to answer, what do you want to do? Not what do you want to have? And then the deeper question was like, who do you want to be? And then the minute you're like, oh, that's big. Like, the person I want to be is, I don't see who that is or how I get there. And then the bigger question is, who do you say I am? And all of that converged in my mid-20s. And so from then until now, it has been a series of learning who I want to be, and then God showing up as who God is. And when those two things align, it's simple. It's not easy, girl. It's not easy. It's very hard, but it's simple.
It's simple. So when you're in this time period and you're really seeing like, okay, what do I want life to look like? Did you just pick up a camera, or how do you go from like law school to being a creative little butterfly with a camera?
Crazy.
And then,
I know.
when did the whole personal brand start?
Okay, so let me give you like the pulled back version, and then you get to splice up where you.
Please.
Like
Yes.
when we started before we were on camera, I was like, girl, I just want to serve. I just want somebody to hear this, and like my goal is you take one small action after this.
Let's go.
That's it, just one small action. So I'll talk to you about like the gestation from then until now. So my mom has a relapse in cancer. I've been dating my boyfriend at the time for 9.5 years, but I was like, I got to finish law school, so I got my Excel spreadsheet, and then after that, I was like, when can we get married? Like, how soon can I say yes? And he wanted to get married after we got out of college. So he was like, yes, like, let's make this happen. So we planned a wedding in 3 months. In the process of us planning our wedding, I just started looking, and I've always loved photography, but a girl from the hood, come on, a photographer, like you're not a photographer, you're not born into a poor family to stay poor with a camera. So I was like, oh, no. But I saw these photographers, I saw what they were doing. I was so in love, and my eyes were open that photography could be a passport, that your camera can take you from the hood into Hollywood. And I was like, oh my gosh, could this be a thing? Can I dare to dream that I could be a photographer when I don't have a camera? And so I said that big, crazy dream. And now what I know to be true, because girl, there's been so many iterations of my career, and I've built my brand again and again, is like, you do not have a God-sized dream on the inside of you if you don't have the capacity to do it or be it or accomplish it.
That's
you
right.
just don't.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up and be like, I want to play in the WNBA. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Right.
I woke up thinking, I actually think I can make this work, even though it sounds crazy. So if somebody right now is watching and listening, and they have this idea that you're like, this, I love this and I want to be this, but like, no way will this ever work. If you don't believe it, you are right.
Yeah.
If you think it won't happen, you are right.
Right.
If you think it will happen, you are right too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I think I could be a photographer. I told my husband, and I said, I took a medical leave from law school because to be with my mom. When I had 3 years to go back and get my scholarship, we always thought we were gonna get married and then I was gonna go back. And then I told him, like, hey, like in the process of like looking at these photographers, like, I don't know why I think I can do this. Like, I think I could be a photographer. And he's like, you don't have a camera. That Christmas, unbeknownst to me, he goes to Best Buy, pulls a camera off the shelf. And now other photographers who are listening to this are like, bless your heart, like what in the world?
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, oh my God, I am like Mexican Annie Leibovitz. Like, watch out. Like, this is just crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm terrible. I am like legit really bad. I don't have money for lenses. I don't even have money for a memory card. And this sounds crazy right now to people because they're so cheap. But back then they were a lot more, they were expensive. They were new. I didn't know what I was going to do. And so then the way I realized it was I was working part-time at my dad's church. And I was doing like marketing. He had like a national radio show at the time. And I was doing like marketing for it. What did I even really know about marketing? I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna make this stuff happen. And on the days that I wasn't there, I was practicing with my camera. And then I started telling people, I was trying to give my services away for free. I couldn't even give my services away for free. They were like, no, our time is worth more than what you're gonna give us. And so I just got super scrappy. I went to a blog and I started blogging my journey. And I said, I'm gonna blog the good, the bad, and the ugly. So that when I go back to law school, I will have said, at least you tried. You will not be on your deathbed looking back at the things you had not done. You will look back as a lesson and not with regret.
Yes.
And so I literally, like, straight up was just writing, like, everything. Like, so I did this, and then this didn't work, and I'm just feeling like a certain way, and I just wish that somebody would pay attention. Girl, it was so ugly. It is so cringe. But I didn't know any better. So I'm just like writing all these other things. And I'm putting out these photos that I'm practicing with. And then lo and behold, at the time, I mean, we're going really back. We're going way back. It was like 2008, where SEO, people are like, what is this magical SEO thing? I was writing one post every day, about 2,000 words a day. And I was creating metadata on the back end. So one day I talk on my blog about this Korean makeup. And another day I was like, I was walking on a date with my husband through Hollywood. And then I was talking about how I'm trying to become a photographer and do weddings. Somebody had typed in Korean Hollywood hairstyle. And they came across my blog and they saw a photo, and then she's not getting married, but her homegirl in the office was getting married, and she's like, check out this girl. And these are strangers on the internet finding out that I don't have the best work, but they're like, something about this girl and the way that she's writing and talking, and like, I'm interested. So I don't have a website. I have my blog that's ghetto as all get out. Somebody emails me through my blog and it's just like, I'm getting married, I'm interested. I burn a CD of photos, like a CD. And then I wrap it in a bow and I mail it to her. Like, this was just like Pony Express. Yeah. And she ends up booking me. And we start talking about prices, and I'm trying to keep it together because I was like, oh my God, I am gonna get paid to be a photographer. And she's like, okay, so how much is it? And I asked her, well, what do you want? She's like, well, I want 10 hours. I want all of the images. It's gonna be this, that, and that. And I was like, okay, incredible. So what's your budget? And she's like, $1,000. And I was like, funny, that's what I charge. Yes. She could have given me $10. I would have been like, yes. Because we got to start. You just got to get started.
Yes.
You just got to do it. And so lucky for me, she had a wedding with 13 bridesmaids. None of them married. Girl,
let's go.
I just worked.
Sign me up.
That wedding ended up yielding another 3 or 4 weddings over the next year and a half. And so all I was doing was I was just putting my story out in front of people. And that would be the linchpin that taught me every time with my brand. It was things are going to be said about you or you are going to say things about yourself. You choose. And I was like, I'm an Alexander Hamilton. I'm just going to outright. I will outpost. I will outbe because it's my story. And I'm going to tell you exactly where I'm at. You could love me or hate me. You will not be in the middle.
And this is exactly what I try to tell people is to brand the build.
Yes.
And
brand, that's good.
Brand the build.
Brand the build.
Whatever season you're in.
That's
is
right.
it building a baby and figuring out motherhood? Is it building a new business?
Oh, that's good.
Is it your faith evolution where like you think you want to be with God, you find God, you get like baptized, you know, like brand the build. Ooh. And it's interesting how I feel like it's coming back to that now where you see a lot of founders where they're like, show me the BTS of the BTS. Like I want to see the real BTS, not just the BTS that you just staged the BTS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you did. And you know, now we're in the trust economy, and that's probably why again people were trusting you so much, is because you're being vulnerable and raw and not trying to be perfectly polished, right?
Absolutely. And like since then, since the evolution of that part of the internet, we saw like these big cycles happen where everything had to be perfect. So the cappuccino was perfect, the feet in the sand were perfect. Then it was like the perfect family, and then it was the perfect feed. And like all of that has come back to where we realize it's been so over-engineered that people can look and be like, that's just too much.
Yeah.
So people showing up as themselves is the currency. And so when you could do that, so then I started a career as a photographer and I make $100,000 my first year of business, which doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, but coming from my family, making $100,000 was more than my dad made of a family of 7 combined in 3 years. So in my mind, I was like, I broke, like family curse be over. Like, oh my God, you can take control of your life and determine how much money you make. I'm no longer on a salary. I'm no longer gunning after a bonus. I got me. And when I did that, I started realizing that photographers, they were the rudest and the crudest of the bunch. They were just like, you ain't even good. I was like, I'm not good, but I'm rich. And they hated it. They mocked it. They questioned it. They tried copying it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you want to know what? Then they asked, how did you do it? And so at the time, people were like, but how are you booking these international clients? Like my husband and I didn't even tell you. My husband was at the startup and I was like, I'm at a place where I need to hire somebody. So how about we just do this together? And so we go all in on this like bootleg photography business. But I'm like, we got more money. Like I've never seen commas. I have multiple commas in my bank account. So we straight, which in retrospect was like a big risk. It was very big, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's go all in. So we begin traveling the United States. We begin traveling the world. So people are flying us and these other people who are legit in the industry will say, you're not even good. To which I reply, that hurts, but I can get better.
Yeah.
And forgive me while I'm like sipping my wine in Italy after shooting this wedding. I hear you, but hold up. So people were asking questions and they were like, how are you booking these clients? And I couldn't understand. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, how are you booking them? I'm like, via email. They're like, but what are you saying in the email? And I got super granular. I'm like, are you asking what words I use in an email? And at the time, I didn't know that was called an email funnel. I didn't know. But I was like, yeah, I usually send like anywhere from 7 to 12 emails and that books a client without me having to meet in person. And their minds were blown. And they're like, but what are you saying? And I was like, so I'm on a flight coming back from Europe as a photographer. I just sit down with a Word document and I'm like, okay, this is email 1. This is email 2. This is email. So I like literally, I'm like, if this person says yes, this is how I say. If they say no, this is what I say. And I'm like, I'm getting all of these things. This is when I send the contract. So I put this together and girl, I sell it for like $19.95. And it's a Word doc. I don't know how to make a PDF. I'm still Googling how to make a PDF. So I get this PDF. My husband and I'm like, how do I sell things online? I'm Googling, how do I sell a PDF online? So we find this thing, ghetto. It's called eJunkie. I don't even know if it's around anymore. But eJunkie, you upload this PDF and they'll give you like an HTML file. And I just went to my blog and I was like, here's my emails. Buy them for $19.95. And like the next morning we wake up and it's like thousands of dollars. And my mind was blown. Because I was like, whoa, we just made money when we slept. And what I realized was as the wedding photography really took off and we started shooting for magazines and we started doing editorial stuff in relation to the wedding world, it started getting more attention on who we were and how we were working. And more people wanted more digital things. They said, well, we want to learn from you. And so I was like, okay. So then I hired a videographer. He followed me on a wedding day. And people were like, we just want to see how you're posing. And so I would break up these videos. Girl, it's like today's modern TikTok. Like what people are giving away for free, I was charging like $3.99, $4.99. So people are watching these like 7-minute tutorials on how I'm posing and how I'm using light. And so I just start creating these small videos. And next thing you know, we've created a 7-figure revenue stream off $19 PDFs and $5 videos. And so every step of the way, I'm creating a blog post and I'm pointing to it. And then social media is introduced. And then I start realizing that you could use social media to talk about you and what you're doing. And so then we saw this big shift. We saw like this big growth. And then I got to a point in my career where things began to change. When you get to, and I say this with all humility, when you get to the 1% of the 1% of a small market, you know this is as high as I go. Like your TAM, your total addressable market is this, period. So while it's good, it will never be the next elevation. So my husband and I in 2016 have a conversation of what does this mean for us to step away from the thing that brought us here. And in 2016, we chose a mantra, and that mantra was burn the boats. Burn the boats that took you to the new land. Because if they sit in the harbor, you will look back and be like, well, we should go back. That was really good back then. Yeah. And this out here is unpredictable. So if you burn the boat, you have to make it work on this new island. So what we decided to do was to take things I was teaching photographers, how to build a business online. And my first foray was to go out and people were asking, well, how do I build my business using Instagram? Which feels like pretty basic now, but in 2016, they're like, you have built a business on Instagram. How are you doing this? So I launched a course for $197. And within 5 days, we did $255,000. And I was like, okay, there's making money on the internet and then there's internet money. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was literally making it up. Like I was literally recording the content with people in real time. I had never launched a course. I never recorded a course. I had never sold a course. We are literally learning on the fly. Like 1 o'clock in the morning, my husband and I are like, we fist bump because we're like, we figured it out. And then that one simple course went on to do over $1 million over the course of a year. And then we start adding subsequent revenue lines with other courses. And then in 2017, people are like, but we really want a membership. So then we launched a membership. And I'm like, if we can get 500 people in this membership, that would be like game over because then we have MRR, monthly recurring revenue. It would be a nice little floater between these other things that we're doing. And then in 5 days, 2,444 people sign up. And then I was like, oh my God, like this is a totally different business. It's a different model, different business, different production. So I had to learn how to do all of that. And then in 2021, people were like, we like the membership, but we really want to be integrated with every social platform, TikTok, Instagram. We want to schedule our posts. And I was like, okay, I've never developed a tech company, but let me see what we can figure out. So we put together a tech team. We build our SaaS offering. And then in 2023, we create a holding company. So we have people that are in charge of every arm of the business because I'm still speaking. I have my podcast. And so there's a lot of moving arms to the business. And then I sit as an equity advisor to other businesses because I get speaking to the marketing and to the tech component. And then in 2025, we launched Consistent 10K. And that is literally taking the former version of me, the woman who has potential and a God-sized dream and not sure where to start, and saying, this is how you build and start your business. Let's go.
Dang. This is evolved. And,
Yes.
and I'm vibing with you. I'm getting so excited right now because what I love is there's no complacency in your life. Like you've continued to evolve. You've continued to pivot as you guys have grown personally, professionally, and as the world has grown as well, because things shift and you're not a tree. So you just keep moving,
That's right.
you know? And what I find a lot right now in the marketplace is there's like this weird scarcity, AI, I'm stuck, and it's like, get out of Stuckville. You got to move, and you have to try new things and lean in to what could work. You know, I'm sure it didn't just like land like that. You kind of had to try this on and try that on and see what was the next thing. Like even this whole thing you guys are doing with helping people make $10K a month.
Yeah, the program's called, and it's crazy though, when you talk about you have to move, you have to do something,
Yeah.
I want to be very clear. I think that what happens is Brene Brown calls it gold-plated grit, where we talk about something, oh, that was really hard, but these are the things I learned. And I just did that. And I'm happy and proud because that is 100% of the truth. It's not 100% of the reality. Because what people don't see are like how many nights you are sobbing on the bathroom floor, realizing you made a mistake. How many people you let down in the process. People you have to fire, people you have to hire. When you have to admit that you made a call and you really believed it was right and it was god-awful wrong. And so, yes, people hear that like, oh, amazing, you learned so much. But I'm like, I'm gonna be 100. It has been a lifelong journey. Like, building a business is the most personal development you will ever have in your life.
Period.
Yeah. Period. And so when we talk about what are the evolutions and what are the iterations and you have to take action, there was a season of just like, it kind of felt like just like a barren field. And that's the first time in my life I had ever experienced that because I'm an idea girl. Like, let's go, let's make it happen. Like you give me 2 beans, we're gonna build a kingdom. And to not have an idea, just to be really silent, to go inside. And I'm like, okay, we have these other people part of the business, but like, who am I? Like, what are you doing? What are you about? And it was like a 2.5 year, like, just wrestle with God. I mean, I know I'm gonna get, like, listen, I'm the daughter of a pastor. My twin sister is a pastor.
Girl, this is called
like,
Called and Crowned.
I know, but still, like, people are like, oh, I'm like, it's just who I am.
Yeah.
Like, this is how I am. This is how I talk. And so it was a full-on season of wrestling. And through that wrestling, I think there's this temptation to just like be still. And there was a time for that. And then there was a time to just be willing to get doors slammed in your face and be told no and try things that don't work and have the humility to say like, okay, do I stop now? Or do I believe that God brought me here to only bring me here? And I didn't. So if I didn't believe it, what must be true? And so I started, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of conversations. I'm just asking people. I am asking people on my podcast, like the biggest and the best of the industry. I'm asking them, what do you see? What is going on? I have a mastermind for 7-figure female founders. I'm asking them, what do you see? What's going on? What are your pressure points? And then I had hundreds and hundreds of calls with the average entrepreneur being like, what are your pressure points? And the thing I heard again and again, Jasmine, I want financial freedom. Every call, those 2 words. And then the other thing was, and I said, but what is that number? Like, what do you think when you have that number, you're just like, I can take a deep breath. 90% of people said $10,000 a month. And they didn't want it 1 month, they wanted it consistently. The name of the program came from their lips. So we call it the consistent 10K because that's what people said. So what becomes marketed and remembered is simply you remember it because you desire it. And it's literally, it's simple proof. You read it, consistent 10K. Okay, I might not know what it is, but I got an idea what it's about. And that is like where we're really like pointing our head in direction.
So good. Yeah, this season you're talking about, I call it the messy middle. And I was in my messy middle for about 3 years. Where I'm still moving my feet. It's like you see the swan going across the water, but you don't see my little feet. I'm still trying things. And I'm like, is this it? Is that it? What is it? You're still finding ways to make money. You're still showing up.
That's right.
During your messy middle period, were you still showing up online?
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, you don't go dormant.
No.
You still show up, but maybe you're not in it. Like it's not the thing that I call it when it's like the wind of heaven's at your back. You're like, this is working. This is moving, And I know someone can relate to that right now because she could be in her messy middle, but you have to keep moving and trying and exploring what God has for you, exploring your gifting, exploring communicating with other people, like you're talking about of how can I serve you and investigating. And I was listening to you the other day, and your podcast is so great, by the way.
Thank you.
So great. And you were talking about being in the DMs and like talking to people and like you're actually talking to them and getting a pulse on what they need. How important is that? Because I think a lot of people right now, they're like, oh, I just want to do a reel and get a deal. Hey,
Hey, that's cute.
Yeah,
That was cute.
you know, and sometimes that might happen if you have an Amazon dupe or good links or whatever. I get it, but the deals happen in the DMs. And I heard you say this, and I actually quoted it on one of my business team calls. I quoted you. I was like talking about you because, again, all these people are like, it's stale crackers out there. I'm like, no, it's not. There's heartbeats in the DMs. Talk about that.
Well, so what happens is, I did not coin this phrase, but it makes so much sense. It's when everybody's zigging, you zag. And so what happens is what we've seen this year is like an avalanche of AI slop. I've just did all of my content with AI. And I'm like, how great is that? Like, you make a stale dinner and you're going to get stale reviews.
Yeah.
So that's like what this is. And so if your goal is to still show people that you are the real deal, and if you feel called, and here's the thing, I when it comes to business, I don't believe like business is like fluff and feather pillows. It's literally, you have a problem and I have a solution. That's business. And if you're not solving a problem, you're gonna have a hard time building a business. So in my mind, when I am in DMs, I understand that other people are like, no, I can't sound pushy. No, I can't ask. No, I can't reach out to somebody who follows me. Yes, you can, they follow you. You go to them and you send a DM and you ask the same thing you would ask if you were at a wedding cocktail party, if you were out in a group event, if you met your sister's boyfriend's cousin. What do you say to this random stranger? Hi, how are you? You start conversations, because what we have online is a business, and it is the same type of business that you have on Main Street USA, and it is the same type of business that you have in a farmer's market, and it is the same kind of business that we have at Christian Dior there in South Coast Plaza. The store is there. Who's walking in the store? Do you know that they have people outside of Chanel and Dior to manage and just say, okay, yes, are you in line? Great, do you have an appointment?
Yeah.
And we're not gonna be our own person outside our own Dior? Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Say hi to people. Say hello. I feel like I don't want to talk trash. I think I'm like 90% sure somebody from your team hit me up in the DMs and I saw the DM and I connected them to my team. I'm in the weeds because there is relationship with real people doing real things.
Yeah, that was me. Right?
Okay. See, because and that's the deal.
Yeah.
That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
Is that somehow there's this misnomer that we don't have one-on-one conversations when from the history of mankind, sales and transactions back in the day, like people were bartering. They weren't bartering from a distance being like, well, I hope they come up to me. No, I have something, you want it, what is this gonna be? And so it's like, social media is about being social.
Yeah.
For a time there, social media was about sales. When the algorithm was, I'm going to show you to 4 to 5% of your followers. So the more that you do, the more that 4 or 5% will compound and you'll get sales. And that was like the cherry picking best time to be on social media. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
They will never come back. It is not in the best interest of any algorithmic platform for you to do that. All content is going out to people's interest. So if you don't spark interest, you're not going to start conversations. You don't start conversations, you're not going to get sales. You have to have the humility to do all of it and play the game the way it currently is now, not to wishing to what it once was.
Yeah, I think people have gotten really lazy and then they feel defeated, like, because they're doing posts, but they're not getting deals. And it's like, you're being lazy because you're not working the conversations and maybe they haven't developed the skill set.
And, okay, so it could be laziness, or it could be like you were dating somebody and then they went on like a health and wellness retreat and they came back super woke and then they're vegan and sleeping 10 hours a night. And you're like, I still like you, but you different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know this. I need to decide, is this us? And that's what's happening with social media, is that people long for like the version of their boyfriend who is all about like March Madness and nachos at night. And he comes back and he's a different person. You just have to decide, am I still in this with you? And that's social media. Social media changed. Then you ask yourself, do I want to change with it? And if the answer is yes, buck up.
Yeah.
This is the game. And part of what is so difficult is that what makes it so good is what makes it so hard. Social media will always and is intended to change. We as humans are hardwired to look for things that are new and unique. The minute it becomes the same is the minute we stop caring. So Adam Mosseri and all the gods that be at Instagram are saying, how do we complicate things even more to keep people guessing? Because when they're guessing, and then we could filter them like a casino with lots of slot machines, sound, smoke, and give them with free alcohol, the addictive component of what keeps people here, let's do that. And we're like, this changed. Of course it did. Because if it didn't, we would stop using it. So if we don't agree to the terms that it will never be the same, the Instagram that I had yesterday is not the Instagram I have today, and it's not the TikTok that I have tomorrow, and it's not the Facebook I have next week, or the Pinterest I have next year. It will never be the same. So your job is to say, it won't be the same, and every day I have to make the decision to say, do I play in this area? And if you don't, no problem. But you can't complain about the results you don't have from the work that you don't do.
And this is why you're always going to be in business, because you can teach people when the things change and how to pivot, right? Like with all your different offerings. That's why I think it's so cool what you do, because some people most people get really overwhelmed. Like, what the frick? Pinterest has completely changed. Instagram.
It is overwhelming.
Yeah. So if you want to market your business, market yourself, it's believing and investing in development. And I mean, that's what you guys do, right? Like to help people know, okay, here's how it shifted.
Yeah.
And what do you do when things dramatically shift? Like, are you going back to the drawing board, doing, redoing how your content works?
I think mostly I'm a watcher. I've always been. So going back to how I grew up, I've always been a watcher. If I have a twin sister, and we are night and day. Whereas when we in college got a scholarship and we traveled through Europe for a month, and she's a person who will just jump in and not speak the language. Buonasera, like, what are you talking about? Bonjour. And I'm like sitting back and I'm like, shut up. Like, just watch everybody, Yeah. And she's out there in Italy, like they would put prior, God, I'm dating myself. They had lira, now that everybody's on the euro, but they had lira, and my sister kept on touching people's hands, and the Italians would be like, okay, like, what's happening? You're supposed to put the lira in the dish. They don't do money transactions hand to hand the way that we do in the States. There's a dish, you put the money down, they take the money, they put the money back in the dish. My sister's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, watch the dish. I'm a watcher. So when it comes to social, I just watch. What are the players getting attention? What did they do? What was that hook? How do they, at the time of this recording, what's really popping off, and by the time this releases, who even knows, but these Yap videos, where you just set your camera up in an unexpected location, bathroom, car, maybe your kitchen, and then the goal of the Yap video is you talk for 5 or 6 minutes about something you're really passionate. So you're going to be talking about branding and how you got to create through the mess and the messy middle, and you're going to blah, blah, blah. And then your editor is going to take, or you, most of the time you will take a 5 to 6 minute video, and you're going to chop it down to 25 seconds. So it's like every single word matters. And it's like pop, 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 pop. And it builds trust more than you doing like a trending reel where you point and twist and poop, here I am. Yeah. That used to work. Everybody started doing it. So the Yap videos are much harder, but those are the things that are over-indexed. So now I'm in the back of my mind thinking like, okay, how do I do a Yap video? I don't want to do a Yap video.
Yeah.
But they work.
Yeah.
They work. And so am I in this to stay comfortable, or am I in this to make money?
Oh.
I know.
And do you post every day?
Every day.
And is it on Instagram, or where do you play most?
YouTube, 2 videos a week. LinkedIn, 4 or 5 times a week. Instagram and Facebook every day. I send a newsletter once or twice a week. And my podcast, we do 1 to 2 episodes a week.
Holy moly. And is it different forms of content, or is it the same?
It's we like to the best of our ability, make it platform specific. So we know that some of the content I'm making on Instagram, it's just not going to perform on YouTube Shorts. Yeah. So the stuff that works really well on YouTube Shorts is going to be how-tos that are searchable. So when I said like so just a couple days ago, I had posted like a behind the scenes of how I created content in an airport. And girl, I wanted to die 1,000 deaths. Because recording the content in the airport, I could tell myself, like, you're not going to see anybody from Salt Lake City. Just do your thing. But then I said, okay, the challenge is document the process of you creating in public. So then I got the reel that I wanted to, and then I created another reel of behind the scenes of this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm thinking. I was like me filming, putting a tripod on an escalator. It was just it was ghetto. And I do that because it's important to show the process, the messy middle, to make it okay that if I'm going to ask somebody to make content, they can't say, must be nice for you. You travel with a videographer. Right. My videographer is my tripod, hun.
Dude.
We gotta do what we're going to do. Are we going to do this, or are we going to do this? Yeah. And so I think that is going to be like the most important thing is like, we got to flex. We got to do things we don't want to do. We got to try things. We got to document the process. We got to humanize. And what I will say was that creating that behind the scenes, it's been really hard for me to create a Yap video. I try, and then I just look like a really creepy, like, kindergarten teacher. Hey, yeah, so I'm yapping, and I have this voice that's not even my own. And I'm like, I'm really passionate. Okay, wait, I'm really passionate. Like, God, like just stop. It felt like really inauthentic.
Yeah,
but what
try
happened
hard.
was try hard.
Yeah.
Try. And actually somebody says, I don't know if this has ever happened to you. So somebody was watching my content. They sent a DM and they thought they were sending it to somebody else, but it came as a reply.
Oh, I've gotten that.
And it says, she tries too hard.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, dang.
At least I'm trying.
But then I said, I do try hard.
Yeah.
Watch me try hard as proof that it does not come easy to me, and I will continue to show up until I blow up. I am not embarrassed that I try hard.
Yeah.
I'm happy you notice it because you will know that an average girl is doing something extraordinary. Period. So what happened with that video of me creating behind the scenes content was it was actually a really authentic way to kind of create a hybrid yap. So I had like the old school plug-in like microphone to my phone.
Yeah.
Because I don't have like a detached microphone. I'm sure I do somewhere. I wasn't traveling. I wasn't intending to create this content. I was just like, you're here on a layover.
And the idea pops. You got to shoot it.
You want to shoot it. I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
So I recorded it. And then I, as I was walking over to the escalator, I was talking. I was like, oh my God, this is so awkward. All right, we're going to do this. I'm going to record it. I'm never going to see these people again. And it ended up being yap-ish, but then it was the tutorial. So it was kind of like a hybrid that made me feel like you were being 100. And if somebody comes at you sideways, at least it's the truth. And so that was to me like my first endeavor at creating a yap that felt a little bit more like me. But I have to keep on trying it.
Yeah.
Like you're going to suck until you don't.
Oh, for sure. I love this so much. What's your philosophy on your personal brand and the content pillars that you create?
So I think that your personal brand is a moat to your business. And so Tesla, the company that is part Twitter, part cars, part robot, part space, okay? That has its own moat. It's really going to IPO and be likely one of the first $1 trillion businesses to ever IPO. That has its own business moat. It has its own brand. But Elon, the personal brand, is the second moat around that whole enterprise.
Yes.
And so you have an offer, and Called and Crowned has its own brand.
Yes.
And then Emily has her own brand.
Yes.
And that, oh my gosh, yes.
Hugo loves you.
Hugo loves me.
Yeah.
Hugo's about me.
Yeah.
He heard me talking about you and is like, I'll be about you. I'll be about you. So a personal brand is a second moat. When we think about competition, when we think about AI, when we think about growth opportunities, if you have the chance to insulate your business a little bit more, why would you not?
Exactly.
And so when it comes to me having my brand pillars, three things that I really want to be known for. They have changed over time. When I was a photographer, they were one thing. When I was doing business consulting, that was another thing. I forgot to put that part in there. I did business consulting in there for a little bit. When I became a tech founder, that was a different three pillars. And at the time of this conversation, I am really into business strategy, marketing, and brand. So you are going to see at least 80% of my content being about that. And the other 20 is I'm always a creative. Maybe I'm going to do something that doesn't really make sense, and I just want to document that my birthday at Disneyland with my daughter. Like,
totally.
It's not a business mover, but it's me.
Exactly.
And I'm just going to create in my own way for that. But 80% of my content is really going to be like who I am and how it benefits your life or your business.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And throwing in the personal stuff is where we really get to know you.
100%.
Yeah, where it's like you let us in a little bit.
100%.
And we know who JD is. We know who Luna, you know what I mean? That's so cool. And I think what's so great about it is when you lean into that and you are evolving over time, branding the build, people see you evolve, and a brand that stays the same, I think, becomes irrelevant, to be quite honest. I mean, we're not meant to stay the same.
Correct.
God is constantly refining us and all that. Has there ever been a season where you were burnt out of content? Because I feel like you're like the Energizer Bunny. Like when I watch you, I'm like, how? She's just whipping nays over here. Like you really make it seem effortless. Do you have, as a creative, I'll get like creative little batches where I am so in the creative flow and my husband's trying to get me in my other brain, but I'm not there. I'm in the creative brain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because you are a businesswoman and you're also a creative. Like, are you just wired to like go zig and zag and
No, it's one of the heaviest things I do in the business. It is wildly heavy.
Uh-huh.
And I think that content burnout is so normal.
Mm-hmm.
And if I paused or stopped every time I was burnt out, I would be stopping at minimum every 4 days.
Yeah, same.
And so
Same.
I think that I look at content the same way that I look at working out. And it's like, to get started working out takes a superhuman amount of strength to change a behavior of not going and working out. And then the minute you change your habit, and so a habit can exist and begin only after 30 days of continuity. That's when your body is like, this is a change. So all of our neural pathways. So when my mom had cancer, I really started studying the brain, and I understood that the brain has neuroplasticity. The brain can literally change its shape and change its belief system. So most of our belief systems, we're creating all of these like 860,000, something like that, a big number of connections that are going on in our brain until we're 2 years old. So when your son enters the world, those first 2 years, all he's doing is harvesting his huge garden. And this garden is massive. And when he's 2 years old, that is when the brain starts to prune away things that are not necessary. And the more that we prune is more that we create our version of reality. And then he's gonna go through life the same way I went through life, assuming a certain thing till you get to a point in most likely adulthood, most like when you're on your own, most like when you're out of the thing that you had grown up in. And then you begin to ask yourself, what do I believe that no longer serves me? What habits do I just take as normal that are now going to be different? And so I think that it's gonna be so important that as we evolve and what our brand and what our content looks out and when we're burnt out, that the decision I've made, and here's the thing, I will be honest. I don't propose it for most people. I'm be real with you. I don't know if my consistency and dedication is a trauma response to something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've questioned it. I've been in therapy for years and I look at it from 360 and I'm like, okay, what energy are you creating in? And the only thing that I can keep on coming back to, is if I'm not dead, I'm not done.
Yeah.
And I have big goals. And my actions map my aspirations. I can't say I want to do this type of business and my actions betray something else. I look incongruous. The reason people will look at me and be like, dang, she's got to do it the most. Because I am. I am unafraid of your opinions about how I live my life or the decisions I make because my actions are mapping my aspirations. And when you look at my actions without looking at or knowing my aspirations, you're going to think she's doing the most. I was like, I am doing the least when you understand how big my God-sized dream is. So the minute I stop doing that is the minute I am unattached or undesirable of the thing I had stated. If I want that, what am I going to do? And if I stop working towards it, it's taking and delaying how long I get to where I want to go.
Yes.
So yes, I'm burnt out. No, I don't want to create content. I don't want to edit. I don't want to create. I don't want to put my makeup on. I don't want to sit in the car. I don't want to think about lighting. I don't want to set up a tripod. I don't want to think about any of that. I don't want to think about the cadence of how often I'm asking or what's the promotional. Do I need a testimonial? How does this look when somebody lands on my page? What do I pin post? What are the stories looking at? When's the last time I went live? I don't want to think about any of that. And yet I do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And so that when people see when the thing has happened, they will not guess how or why. They will simply say, she did what she set out to do.
Do you ever, when you're having those moments, just think about the person you're meant to serve and it pushes you to show up?
Oh, I wish I did. I wish I did. The truth is, I think about my daughter. I know. I do.
Sweet, though.
I just, every podcast, I'm fine. And then I talk about her and then there's like a lump in my throat. It's just, I just think about her. And all I want for her is to like really look at her mom and say, she did everything she could to build a life for me. Like my mom showed me what was possible.
Yes.
And so on those days, I'm like, I always think about baby girl. And I think when she turned 6, I started asking myself like a lot of different questions. And that was, what if I treated myself the way I treated my daughter? I'm telling you, it's wrecked me, girl. The start of the year, I started asking myself, the way I talk to her, it's like, she can do anything. When she's on the scooter and she's learning how to ride her scooter and we're going uphill, she's like, I can't do it, Mama, I can't do it. I'll run next to her. I was like, you got this. Put your head in it. Let's go, baby. You got it. Yeah. She's got it. She wants it all the way up the hill. And she gets up, I'm like, you did it.
Yes.
But if she falls, I'm like, hey, baby, come. We got this. When she wakes up in the morning, are we breathing? Are we happy? What are we grateful for?
Yeah.
I love it. Look at this artwork. It's Picasso. Who's Picasso? Doesn't matter, baby. You Picasso. And I think to myself, what if I spoke to myself that way?
Yes. Amen. Amen.
And so, girl, it's been a big thing. So when I talk about like the days that I don't want to do it, what do I want her to see? What do I want her to know? How do I speak to myself? Like, you're tired, girl. Okay, so take a breather. Get a little Diet Coke. Pull it together. You're going to do this. And put your head on the pillow. You're going to do this. So let's go.
Oh,
I know. That's the real.
That's the real, but that's so powerful because it's what they catch, not what you say,
I hope so.
right?
I hope so.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. How has becoming a mom changed how you operate in your business?
I don't even know the version who I was before. Like, and I literally say this with all humility. Like, my very, very best friends, girls, I've been best friends since I was like 13. My husband, my family, they're just like, you are just a better person. Like, you're just a better person. And like, I just feel that way because having this person in my life every day, I just want to be better, 1% better every day. And I think that if I was being real, I really struggled with like self-love, acceptance for a myriad of reasons, 1,000 things. And though I started therapy before becoming a mom and started doing personal development before I became a mom, the version of my life as I see through her, I almost see like this version of myself that I am just trying to like say, you don't have to be that anymore. You don't have to have that shell. You don't have to fight. You don't have to prove. You can just be. And I think that what people sense from me is just like a sense of being.
Yes.
Like, I used to walk around, I'm like, I like my chip on my shoulder. Give me guacamole. Like, I got chips on chips. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, you don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
You don't have to prove anything. You're already enough.
And that was true before. It is true now, and it will always stay true. Knowing and accepting and believing are different things. And what I think people have seen is the process of me really believing that this is enough. And be here now.
That's
and
right.
simply be. And that is the gift. And I think it's taken me a long time to get there.
Totally. I mean, you're a go-getter. And a lot of times with go-getters, it's never enough.
No.
It's hard to be present.
Yes.
So it's oscillating between here's where God wants me, this is my anointing, here's where I'm going, right? And then I'm grateful for what I currently have.
Absolutely.
It's like that fine line in between, but I don't want to be stale crackers and stagnant over here because that's an insult to our creator. So it's like, how do I live in that in between? Have you recently grown in your faith?
Oh, wow. Okay. So my dad, so we were going to church. We always grew up in the church. My dad, parking lot ministry, Mexico ministry. And then the church moved from a place called West Covina to Diamond Bar. So if you're familiar at all with Southern California, we grew up in LA. And so then at the time, that church had moved, and we were still going to go to it on Sundays, but midweek in LA traffic trying to get to Diamond Bar from LA, it's like, good luck, right? So my dad just had a Bible study for people in East Los Angeles on a Wednesday night. And it was just a Bible study for people who lived out there and weren't going to go all the way out to Diamond Bar. And then it started off and it was just like 20, 30 people. And then it became like 100 people. And then it became like 1,000 people. And then my dad started a church in East LA. He became a bona fide pastor, like ordained Sundays and midweek and like on his own when I was 13.
Wow.
So kind of just, I'd always grown up in the church, went to his church, went to school in Southern California. So I was still volunteering at church throughout college, and then I'm at UCLA in LA. I'm still going to church at that time. It was still very connective. And then in 2020, I became a mom. The pandemic happened. I was living in Newport Beach, and the drive was like the most. And in looking back, I probably was like overprotective. Like when you're a new mom, you're just super protective. But then you're over a new mom in a pandemic, you're like, look, buckle down. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So I was that mom. I know I was a little psychotic now looking back, but it was what it was. And so I loved doing church online. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then I think I just loved it too much. And then one time I went on a walk. We were in Irvine. My sister lives there. So all the sisters got together with my mom, and she's walking, and my mom, just being my mom, is just like, Jasmine, don't forsake the brethren. church. I was like, Mom, I'm not. I'm at church, girl. Like, I got it. Like, we good. God and I are good. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like older daughter, like, no.
Yeah.
And then our daughter came to an age where I really wanted her. I realized, wait a minute. Why isn't she going to vacation Bible school? Like, where is her community? Like, how come she don't know no church songs? It's like she's out here singing Elevation and she don't know, like, Father Abraham. I was like, ooh, you not doing it right, Mom. So we started the hunt in 23.
Okay.
And we were just out here, like, we went to every Orange County church. And we just church hopped. And I liked church hopping. I really did. Because it was like, commitment, no commitment. Commitment, no commitment. I'm just being real. I love that. Go in, go out. And then, like, the bigger the mega church is, like, the better the parking.
Oh, it
like,
is.
swoop in.
Yeah, it's easy.
Like, the best worship. Like, there's a fog machine. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like miniature Disneyland. I was like, here. I was like, God, show up in Orange County. It's hard being God's favorite out here, you know? And so then we found a church that we went to a couple times. And at the time, they were kind of going through a transition. So they didn't really have a head pastor. And then by the time we looped back to it, because, girl, we went on the OC church loop like a couple times. And we went back, and then I walk in, and there's this brown guy. And I was like, oh, brown guy guest speaker. He must be a missionary, you know? He's the head pastor.
Amazing.
And he's just the real deal. Like, I sat there and I was like, okay, can I be real?
Yes.
Oh my, we're getting like super churchy.
We love it here.
Grew up in the church, right? And I like faith. But what I don't like is emotion in the church, right? Like, we believe because we believe. Like, yes, but like doctrine. Like, real rooted. Teach me.
Yeah.
So my prayer that morning, because I'm a total pretentious pastor's kid, I was like, God, can you just speak to my intellect? That seems I didn't say that. I didn't say that to anybody. It was just me. And I was like, can you just speak to my intellect? And people hear that and be like, oh, she thinks she's so intellectual. Maybe. But that was my prayer, so judge me or not. I walk in, I hear this brother speak, and I am like, who are you? Because you're out here weaving like hardcore word of God theology, C.S. Lewis. At the end, we held our hands up and we said in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I was like, this is what in the world? And we went back to him 3 times in a row after that, which is 30 days is a habit. And we decided, oh, this is where we're going to plant our roots.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, is it a smaller church?
It's 2,000.
Okay.
So, you know, in Orange County, that is kind of small, but that's like the average church in America is less than 500. So, it's big, but and it's grown since we started. So, when we started, it was like 1,200. And I kind of liked that smaller church vibe. That
totally.
You'd see like the same people you're kind of recognizing.
You can build relationships.
But then my husband got looped into, and girl, if I was single, I'd be looking at my husband because at the end of church, he'd like do the fold up of the chairs, like stack up the chairs. And listen, single men, if you're at church, stack up the chairs because the girls are looking.
So hot.
It is. So we just started getting plugged in, and we like the people. We like the pastor a lot, and we're just like, okay. And then here's the real thing. Oh my God, I'm talking so much. Oh my God.
I
okay,
love
say a prayer
this.
for me. Somebody's not looping down.
This is so good.
I'm a grown woman. I don't need my parents' approval. Done a lot of work to say that as the firstborn daughter of an immigrant. I don't need it. I really wanted it. I only say that now because I was like, nope, don't matter. I told myself, I work with my therapist. I'm not gonna. So I invite my parents to come to our church. And I don't want my parents judging my church because my dad has a church. I don't want that. I don't want that. Do I think that they would have? No, but I just didn't even want it. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, okay. So then they like the worship. And then I saw my dad nodding and my mom taking notes. And then we walked to church like, we really think he's awesome. And I was like, all right, great. Okay. We got daddy's approval. So I think that for us, it's where we're plugged in for right now. And it has been a community. So when you ask, the world's longest answer to how I've developed my faith kind of just had this like renaissance. My husband doesn't even know who I am. Like I volunteered on Easter. And he's like, who are you? I was like, I don't even know. I'm out here being a church greeter on Easter.
I appreciate you sharing all this because it's so flippin' real. I was recently talking to someone who's going through it, and she was saying the same thing, like, oh, I'll watch YouTubes. I'm like, you can't just be watching YouTubes. You got to go worship. You got to go get in a community. And I'm like, trust me, I would love to stay in my PJs every Sunday.
Amen.
But when we committed to going,
it changes,
it's a whole different thing.
But I have a lot of grace because that was me.
For a season.
So I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. But at the same time, I'm going to be my mom. Be like, do not forsake the brethren. But yeah, it changes.
Do you believe your faith is what helps you be invincible in so many ways in terms of like how you show up fearlessly?
I think it's the complete opposite. My faith is what heals the broken parts.
Oh, it's good.
I don't feel it. I put a lump in my throat. I don't feel invincible. Most days I walk with a limp. It's hard. I carry a lot of like old stuff that happened in the business. I'm like, I want to make it right. I want to do right. This time around, I'm going to do it better. And so I don't walk around like I'm invincible. I walk around like I'm broken and I want to give up. And yet it's my faith. And I'm like, you were put here for a reason.
Amen.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Are you going to cower or are you going to stand up? And so in the face of opposition, in the face of doubt, in the face when things go wrong, because they do, that is business, that 90% of the things we do will fail. That's entrepreneur math.
Yes, it is.
And then yet we get like so frustrated or upset. And I'm like, no, babe, that's not the norm. It's normal. 90% of what we do as entrepreneurs is going to fail. And so then we play in the 10% margins. So no, girl, I do not feel invincible. I feel broken. And my faith is the thing that keeps me focused.
It's beautiful. So the show is called Called and Crowned because for me, I used to have everything be about Emily. And then God spoke to me and he's like, you've got to make people, especially women, understand that they're already called. They don't have to earn it. You know, they don't have to get a title, a rank, money, and they're crowned as a daughter of the King. And I believe right now more than ever that the enemy is just attacking, right, our identity. You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not this, that, da. What would you say to a woman right now that needs to understand and step into her calling?
So I casually joke, not really. Like I'm 50% holy and 50% hood.
I love
like
it.
Like half Deepak, half
Tupac,
I love it. Okay?
Yeah.
So I think if you were to ask my twin sister, who's just like the nicer, kinder, holier one, she would say something like really good. Like you'd walk away and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I come from like a little bit, I call it as I see it.
Yes.
For somebody who is there and feeling that.
Yeah.
You choose to be there, babe. You don't serve a God who ever created you to play small or to walk in fear or doubt. He said the exact opposite. How many times did God say in the entire Bible, do not fear? Do not fear. Do not fear. So if you choose fear and you play small and you feel stuck, that's on you because God told you what not to do. So if you choose that, go ahead, fight for your limitations. But the God I serve has called you to more. And if you choose that, please understand, it won't be easy. It will be simple. And on the other side of making it through, into the promised land, into the land of milk and honey, you can take 40 years in a desert. Go ahead. But the people of Israel, it's a 2-week journey that took 40 years. If you want to be on your own 40-year journey, go right ahead. But I'm just going to step into the fear and trust so that my 2-week journey takes me to the land of milk and honey.
Beautiful. You are so beautiful. You're fire. You're beautiful and you're fire. You're a great combination, my friend.
I am a reflection. God was fire, so I take that as that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Where can people find you? How can they plug in to all the things you got going on?
Great. JasmineStar.com. I'm Jasmin Star on all social platforms.
Yes. You come back anytime.
I will. Girl, we're
neighbors.
We're going to do like this weekly.
I was like, you can walk over here.
here.
You guys go follow Jasmin Star and tag both of us on Instagram.
Please.
Tell us your biggest takeaway and just thank you. Thank you for showing up so big.
Thank you.
You're incredible.
Thank you.
Yes. God bless. Thank you, everyone.